Hi everybody, it's Ann Patchett and Nemo Van Devender at Parnassus Books. And I want to just double back and thank all of you again for supporting Humanities Tennessee in the $20 drive to save art and culture. You guys came through in such a beautiful way. We got $20 from someone in every state of the union and from our friends in the sovereign nation of Canada as well. We raised over $40,000 in $20 bills. Think about that. And then I put in my 10, and that meant that the Mellon Foundation gave $200,000 to each state for their humanities program, but an additional $50,000 if they could raise $50,000 from the community. Guess what? We'd already done it. So it was thrilling, and I'm just so grateful. Anyway, wanted to say that. Now, I am going to employ all of my superpowers as a book recommender and a bookseller, all right? The book I want to recommend is this one, Things in Nature Merely Grow by Ian Lee. This is a book about the death of Iyun and her husband's son, James. They had two sons, Vincent and James, and 6 years ago, Vincent committed suicide, and last year, James committed suicide in the same way. And you would think, okay, that's not a book I'm going to read. I really want to urge you to read this book. Regardless of whether or not you have children, that doesn't have anything to do with it. It is a book about acceptance. It is a book that has not a single spare word in it, that never relies on a cliche, that never resorts to how she is supposed to feel. And it is a book about writing. It is a book about profound clarity. And I loved it so much. It's worth the investment of your time and your emotional life. There you go. That's my pitch. Alison Bechdel, who wrote Fun Home, has a new book out called Spent. It's a comic novel. It's a comic graphic novel. And I would, about raising pygmy goats in Vermont, just in case you were wondering. And I would like to use this opportunity to say, I lent my autographed copy of Fun Home to someone years ago. She had drawn a little picture in the book of herself reading Bel Canto. If you have that book, get it back to me. I would really like to have it back, okay? Flower Girls, my friends, the Price sisters, Robin and Jackie. Robin is the illustrator for Fancy Nancy, but also is the illustrator for all three of the picture books I've done. And this is a book that she's done with her sister Jackie, and it is so lovely, and it's just a beautiful book about sisters who identify with different flowers. And I love Robin kind of more than anything in the world, and I also, by extension, love Jackie, and I love this book. And then I want to close off with the Victoria and Albert Source Book of Pattern and Ornament. This is a book that I own and that I have bought for so many people, and it's out in paperback, which just kind of is amazing because these books don't go out in paperback. So if you want to have a meaningful experience with wallpaper, Lindsay and I want to have a meaningful experience with wallpaper, and now in paperback, so you can take it on a plane and look at wallpaper. All right, Lindsay, what you got?
I genuinely do own that book, and I do just open it and feel the relief of looking at pretty patterns. I don't know, if you're with us, if you know, you know, if you're with us, you're with us. Wallpaper Hive, rise up. Out today from Catherine Center, the author of the Rom-Comers, which is a huge hit here. We have The Love Haters out today. If you need some fake dating shenanigans, rom-com, check this one out. Debut that we're all excited about, Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. This one is pitched as TJ Klune's Under the Whispering Door meets Stephanie Danler's Sweet Bitter. If you're wondering how those two things meet, he is a chef who can recreate meals of people who have passed away. So check this one out if you want an interesting intersection of genres and different writing. Over in nonfiction, Robert McFarland, who is one of our best science and nature writers, is out with Is a River Alive, which explores whether or not ecosystems and rivers have life and what are their rights and how we can protect them. Most important takeaway, how we can protect them. Also over in nonfiction, two books that I'm going to pair together. Erased, What American Patriarchy Has Hidden From Us, a story of how women and people of color are often left out of the archives and out of our cultural memory, which if you don't know the history of Marsha P. Johnson, there's a biography out today. So check these two out, explore unexplored histories and things that maybe are left out of the archives. And kicking it over to Elise.
Hi, everyone. First things first, shout out to Andy in Connecticut. I wanted to say hi. I know you're watching, and thank everybody for watching. We have been so busy, and actually Anne, I think, is the hardest working person in show business because you've been doing a lot of these events. We had a great event with James Patterson. If you're there, you know what I'm talking about. This is the #1 dad book, Be the Best Dad. And you know what? You can do it in an hour, but it's really charming and it's really good. And so for your dad, or your son who's a dad, or your brother who's a dad, or your cousin who's a dad, you get the idea. It's very short, it's very sweet, very good. And then last night, actually, kudos to Andy, general manager here, who was in conversation with Dave Barry. This was such a fun event. And we have signed copies of Class Clown, a memoir, and a surprising memoir. And of course, it's fabulously written. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. And so we have these books and they're signed and they just make great gifts. Now this week, okay, so we have Chasten Buttigieg and he is going to be at the public library. We have a wonderful relationship with the library and the Library Foundation. So in partnership, we will be presenting Chasten Buttigieg and his new picture book, Papa's Coming Home, and the illustrator is Dan Taylor, and it's adorable. And the kids are getting ready for Papa's Coming Home, and whoa, and you'll just love it. And I think there are tickets left, so you can still, not many, so get online and see you there. And then on Thursday, we have Nicole Jarvis, and this is an atmospheric historical fantasy, lots of magic. This and another one of our peeps, Rachel Randolph, will be in conversation in the store with Nicole. Don't miss it. And then on Saturday, we have Bradley Collins, who I think has visited us before. And this is When I Talk to God, I talk about feelings, and the illustrations are fabulous. And it's about talking about your feelings. And he is a songwriter, I believe, and everyone had the best time last time. So I know 10:30 on Saturday, if you come, you're gonna have a great time as well. And I also wanna talk about Ocean Vuong. Wow. Talk about Anne and Ocean. To me, it was, I've done this for 150,000 years. I look good, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And that was really like in my top 5. It was a very incredible and impactful conversation. The Emperor of Gladness, Ocean's second novel, is just a work of art. It's beautiful and you should read it, and we do have signed copies. And Beautiful and Brilliant. Wait, Beautiful and Brilliant. Rayanne.
Oh, wow, Elise, I love you. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. You've stunned me. Okay. This is such a fun book. This is going to be the June Parnassus Next Pick, but if you come to the store and you're not a subscriber yet, you can pick it up today. Let Them Stare, co-written by Jonathan Van Ness and Julie Murphy. Allie's behind the thing.
The camera.
The camera, thank you. We love this book. This is about Sully, who's got a great internship lined up after graduation. Then it's canceled at the last minute. They don't know what to do. They go to the thrift shop where they used to work. They buy a great vintage bag. And inside is the ghost of a 1950s drag queen. Such a fun book. In Case You Read This by Edward Underhill. This is about two trans boys who meet on a cross-country journey and then realize they need to find each other again. It is the 10th anniversary of the Nimona YA graphic novel by N.D. Stevenson, so it's a new special edition. Pick this up if you haven't, or if you're just a big fan. Also want to mention Jason Buttigieg's picture book illustrated by Dan Taylor, Papa's Coming Home. This is about siblings who are so excited that Papa's coming home. They prepare all these things to greet him. When they pick him up at the airport, no more room for him in the car. It's so cute. Linda Mullally Hunt's middle grade novel, Wish in a Tree. She is adapted to a picture book celebrating neurodiversity with some of the same characters. It's illustrated by Nancy Carpenter. Nicholas Smith, The History of We. Nicholas was the illustrator for the 1619 project, and this is all about the humanity of humans and our history. And I just want to celebrate Robin and her sister Jackie, who we've had the pleasure of hosting together before, for Flower Girls, Girls Out in Nature, Girls Having Fun. Congratulations on your new picture book. Thanks so much for listening. All these will be on the new releases page.